All right, what's going on, guys? I got some St. Louis cut spare ribs right here. I got the offset smoker heating up right now. We're gonna smoke these bad boys up. I got a whiskey glaze we're gonna put together, slap them on these ribs. You're gonna wanna stick around and check this out, so here we go. All right, so I got these spare ribs out of the pack, just drying them off pretty good because there's a bunch of pork juice all over the place. So for anybody out there that doesn't know, St. Louis cut ribs are basically spare ribs that have been trimmed down. Usually they have the big rib tips along the edges like this. So there's not much work I gotta do to these. All I gotta really do is just take this skirt meat right here and just cut it off. A lot of people save it, but I'm throwing it out. I mean, these are looking pretty good. The end is a little thin, a little bit of fat on the edge. Take that off. All right. Just taking off that little flap right there. You could easily take that membrane off. I'm just gonna score it up. Usually if I had baby backs, I'd rip it off, but. So the rub of choice today, Texas Sugar by Meat Church. This sounds like a super sweet rub, but obviously I've went through a good amount of it, and it's got a good balance of salt. There's some black pepper flakes in there. You know, it's sweet, but it's not over the top. So going with this, use whatever kind of rub you like. Just get a good amount on there. Pack it in. Simple as that, that's all you gotta do. I got these seasoned up. I got the pit heating up right now. We're gonna go outside and throw these on the grill. All right, so we're going at like 275 right now, and it's starting a little hot. It's gonna come down. I want to keep it between 250 and 275 just like usual. So I'm gonna let these sit on here. I'm probably gonna wrap them after like 3 hours. You know what? I'm a dumbass. I don't know how the hell I forgot. I wanna throw some black pepper on here like I always do. With ribs most of the time. So I always go with the coarse ground black pepper, 16 mesh. So these ribs have already been sitting for a minute, so the meat's already started to absorb that salt. So you can see there's a good amount of like tackiness on top. I'm just gonna go over the top with the black pepper. Not really needed on the bottom, so sticking pretty good. All right, now I'm going on the smoker. All right, like I was saying, 3 hours. I'm probably gonna wrap them up. Like I said, I'll give you guys some shots in between just to show you the progress, but that's it. So just to show you guys, this is where we're like an hour and a half into the cook. A little bit of color on there. Got the fire going. I'll show you guys when I wrap it up. So this is what we're looking like, just over 3 hours on the smoke. I'm just gonna wrap these up. I'm not gonna put nothing in the wrap because I'm gonna do that bourbon glaze. Then after about an hour, I'm gonna take them off. I'm gonna throw them back on the smoker, and then I'm gonna start putting that glaze on. And then we're gonna finish them up. All right, now for the actual bourbon glaze, I got this Weller Antique 107 fine bourbon right here. That was in the thumbnail of the video, but there's no way in hell I'm gonna use this because if you know anything about bourbon or whiskey, you know, this is not easy to come by and it's not cheap, so no way in hell will I be using this. But use whatever you like to drink. It's like cooking with wine. Use something decent, nothing over the top. You don't have to go crazy. I got this Wild Turkey 101. I got all Grandad bonded. I got some other stuff, but I figure, you know, one of these two would be good for something like a glaze because you're gonna cover it up with a bunch of sugar and other stuff anyway, so you don't have to get crazy. So my homie old Grandad never let me down. I'm gonna go with this right here. And yeah, just basically use whatever you like. So if you're familiar with any type of different tasting notes with bourbon and whiskey, a lot of people talk about like brown sugar, caramel, orange peel, baked apple, baking spice, all kinds of ridiculous stuff that they use to describe whiskey. So I got this different stuff right here. I'm using some brown sugar I'm gonna throw in there. I got orange juice, maybe some zest. I got some apple sauce for the apple flavor, obviously the bourbon. So let's get started right now. All right, I'm gonna start with a cup of whiskey, maybe a little more. Just gonna burn it off a little bit. About a half a cup of orange juice. About a quarter cup of apple cider vinegar. I'm just gonna eyeball it. 4 ounces applesauce, a couple fat tablespoons of brown sugar, got some honey, about a tablespoon of that, nice splash of some soy sauce, about a teaspoon, a little black pepper in there. I'm just gonna throw in some of that Texas sugar, because why not? Just a little bit. And that's pretty much it. If I had a cinnamon stick, I'd probably throw one in there. You can add whatever spices you want. I'm just keeping it extremely simple. Make sure you give it a taste. Tastes pretty good. All I'm gonna do now is let this simmer, let it reduce by half, or until it coats the back of a spoon. You just want it to thicken up a little bit, and then we're gonna slap it on these ribs. So this is what we got, 1 hour wrap, feeling pretty tender. Not quite there yet. We'll give these like 20 more minutes. Should be all right. So this is what we got. Basically like an hour and a half on the smoke. Flopping pretty good. So normally I would just do this outside, but because the lighting sucks out there, I just wanted to bring it in and show you guys to get a better view. But these are probing pretty tender. So I'm just going by feel with these. I mean, they feel bite through tender when you put the probe through. The bone pull back could be a little better. I mean, I know a lot of people like them cooked a little more, but I'm fine with how this looks. So all that glaze reduced down just to a little bit right there. Just gonna put it on. So I'm gonna finish these up on the smoker. I'm gonna probably go another 20 minutes. Probably gonna put another coat of that glaze on after it sits for a little bit, but that's gonna be it. So there it is, guys, a big old pile of some Bourbon Glaze sticky ass ribs right there. Got the good bite through, perfect tenderness for me. They came out extra juicy. That glaze is awesome. It's not too sweet, but it's got a good amount of sweetness to it. And just remember, when you're making that glaze, let it go on a good simmer for like 15 minutes. It's gonna reduce. Make sure you're constantly stirring it so you don't burn it up. After you kill the heat, it's gonna thicken up even a little bit more, so that's all you really gotta do. But I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to try that glaze out. You won't be disappointed. I'll see you on the next video. Peace out. God damn.